You want your legacy, then you create one. Create a legacy, and then I'll attach a child to that legacy. We're not using a child to make the legacy out of.
You'd be the first guest.
Oh, wow.
Do you mind if I sit close to you?
Yeah, no problem. You might want to move that piece of tortilla.
So, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what is your name and what do you spend the most time doing?
My name is Designee, and I spend the most time laughing.
Laughing?
Yeah.
Laughing at movies, laughing at jokes. What do you laugh about?
Random things and jokes.
Okay. Do you have a joke in particular?
Dirty jokes.
Dirty jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like in a past life, I was Bernie Mac's real niece. Like, I laugh at everything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever try to be like a stand-up comedian for open mic nights and things like that?
No, I don't think I would enjoy it. I think I could do it, but I don't think I would enjoy it. I think others would enjoy it, but not me.
Because there'd be like pressure to be funny, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
Okay. So I see you're feeding birds. Is that something you do often?
I feed pretty much anything that's hungry. But no, I don't do it very often. I just have some extra tortilla strips, and they like them, so I figured I would feed.
So I have a question for you. If you were to think back as far as you can, what is your earliest memory that you have?
My earliest memory?
Yeah, as far back as you could remember.
My aunt dumping me in the ocean.
Were you getting baptized or something?
No. She was just like, she was playing, but it scared the living crap out of me because I didn't know that she was going to do it. And I was breathing up when she did it. So I breathed up through my nose and I felt like I was drowning. I still remember that. I was like 4 years old.
Wow. Can you tell me about your aunt? What's she like?
Bougie.
Bougie?
Yeah.
Like fancy?
Very.
You know, it's funny. My entire life, I had a misunderstanding of what the word bougie meant. I thought that meant the opposite of fancy and nice. I thought it was like...
Oh, no. This one is very much so. Everything expensive. If it doesn't cost a lot, keep it away from me. I don't want it on me.
What is the furthest you traveled from home? You said you're from South Carolina. Is this the furthest you've been? You've been further?
No. The furthest I've been is California.
So what was in California?
My ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
I went there when we were dating. Yeah, he was playing college basketball, so I went over there with him.
Wow.
On my vacation.
I was never much of a basketball person. I'm 5'10" and 150 pounds. So
I mean, what's the problem?
Well, I guess competing against people that are 6'5".
Ever heard of Allen Iverson?
I've heard of him.
He's not that big.
I got a feeling he's a little bit better than I am, though.
Yeah. It's just because he tried. That's all. But yeah, I feel you. I'm not that big on it either. I learned, but it's not really something that I held on to. I kind of was doing it as a bond, like with me and my dad. He liked sports, so we'll bond over that. He might watch a movie I like. I might watch a basketball game with him. Stuff like that.
Is there a lesson that your dad taught you that you've kept with you your whole life?
Mostly I can say he taught me. He would have been a great uncle.
A great uncle?
He would have been a great uncle. He would have been like the most fun, like the best uncle ever. But he was not responsible at all. He was not responsible.
I got you.
Yeah. But so he taught me things, but in my own right, with my own. In my own mind, I noticed that you're showing me what not to choose and what not to do. Right.
What would be the most valuable lesson you could give somebody else?
Drop the pride.
Drop pride?
Drop the pride and the ego.
How would that affect your life?
I would say letting that go, but letting it go, meaning for other people. I just didn't know the resources were out there, but because I don't have like a lot of, I'm proud of myself. It's a difference between being proud of yourself and being egotistical.
Right.
So I'm proud of who I am. I am a fat black woman with a nappy afro, and I look good, and I love me. But that does not make me egotistical because I love myself. It just means I don't want to have to change to be someone else. So I would say dropping the pride in things would make you where you're more humane to people.
More humane, more understanding, kinder. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you will understand too. And just a tidbit, a bonus to that is more than likely you're not going to get the love that you give to others. You're not going to get it back from that same exact person. And that's okay. That doesn't mean you keep doing it for people who don't do for you.
But expectations is really
Yeah, you're going to get it. You're going to get it. It just might not come from the person who you gave it to. And you don't have to try a million times with them. You don't have to give a million second chances. You can move forward because you're going to find that love somewhere else.
Maybe 1 or 2 chances.
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah,
Maybe 1 or 2. But after that, no. Because you don't get to keep making the same mistakes over and over with a person. That's not fair.
Okay, I got you.
The one thing that I ask that you make sure of, please, for me, do not forget Black women.
So is there something you could tell me about, I see the experiences of Black women in America?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, is that something you want to
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have to be like the strongest of everyone.
Okay.
We have to be the strongest out of everyone that we know. We have to be able to take the most. They say that we're the most emotional. We're not. It's like, if I'm emotional, it's because I've taken 10,000 things and you've taken 2.
Right.
So you're kicking a hole in a wall for 2 things, and I had to take 10,000 on my back and still keep carrying kids that may not even be mine, but just because I can't leave them behind.
I got you.
That type thing. So it's always where we have to have extra strength, and then we get looked at like we're on the bottom of the totem pole. We're only seen as valuable when we have children in tow, and the value still isn't that high.
So
and it's like everybody wants to play the oppression Olympics with us.
Your oppression Olympics?
Yes. Like everybody wants to fight about who has it worse. Like if they have it worse than us, or if we have it worse than them.
So
we don't have to go through what we have to. No, we don't have to go through what you have to go through. We have to go through worse, and we have to do it with a smile on our face.
Oof,
and we have to nurture you while we're doing it. So, exactly.
What is a problem that you think the Black community, specifically Black women, are the best positioned to solve? What do you think can be solved rather quickly and efficiently?
I think. Can I speak freely?
You can speak. I mean, I also.
Because I'm going to say something crazy.
If you want me to cut it, I can cut it, but you can speak freely if you'd like.
We need to stop allowing men who don't do what they're supposed to do access to our vaginas. Stop allowing it. Stop allowing it.
I got you.
You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Why are you rewarding bad behavior?
I think it would have a profound effect on society.
It would. It really would. They made a movie like that and they laughed about it because it was. I never even saw the movie, but I remember the concept of it. The movie, I think it was called Chirac, the one that Nick Cannon did. Oddly enough, Nick Cannon. Come on now. All the babies that he has, but like, yeah, I think that if people would stop rewarding bad behavior, it would make it so, people have to do right by the next. Whether you're woman, man, non-binary, if you are dealing with someone who has a heavy masculine energy, they expect a lot. They expect a lot from the feminine. Wow. And because it's not monetary, because you're not handing them dollars, they act like it's less than what it is, when it actually is more valuable. Because, yeah, 2 people can be homeless together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
2 people can be homeless together, and I can still nurture you while we're homeless. But you can't feed me because you don't have any money.
Right.
So which one is mother?
The women.
Exactly.
I got a question then. Do you think even if the progress is slow, even if it's not where it should be, do you think society as a whole is on the right track? Do you think we're going in the right direction?
Currently?
Currently.
I would say yes, but it's not for the reasons why you think so.
Let's hear it.
Well, I won't say why you think so because I can't speak for you. But I would say yes because the young girls are waking up. The young girls are waking up and they're like, nope, kid free is the way it be. I don't want it. Nope. Go. You want your legacy? Then you create one. Create a legacy, and then I'll attach a child to that legacy. We're not using a child to make the legacy out of.
Wow, that was profound. Create a legacy.
Create
first.
the legacy first.
Wow.
And then, maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, then. But other than that, no, we're not having a child to create, oh, he's going to be a basketball player. No. You become the basketball player, and then we'll attach the child to your legacy.
Wow.
Like, that's how it should be. That's how it should have always been. Without people having different families on this side of town, that side of town, or across the water, like, without spreading yourself so thin. It's unnecessary.
Do you think that there is a black woman who has left an inspiring legacy? Of course, there's many, but any in particular?
Absolutely. So many of them, honestly. I would feel like I'm doing a disjustice if I picked one. I really would.
How about, rather than a person, what about like a theme with that legacy they're leaving?
I would say the ones who honestly think like what I just came into, as far as not rewarding bad behavior, creating community amongst each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a person, and I love her to pieces. I don't agree with everything, and that's okay. But most of the stuff that she says makes a lot of sense. She's actually on YouTube. Her name is Erica De Niro TV.
Erica De Niro TV.
Yes. And she is very big on creating community amongst women, you know?
Okay.
So, and I love that about her, because it's like, okay, if this didn't work out with this guy, and now you have this baby, I got a baby, you got a baby, we're neighbors, do you need help? You know, let's help each other, like form a sisterhood in that. And not rewarding bad behavior, like no more of that. That is over and done with.
I got a question then. So, as a man, I know a lot of other men who would like to take on the responsibility of helping women when it's appropriate. But I think that a lot of men right now are struggling to find out when help is wanted and what areas that women would like help from a man.
I don't think that's a struggle. I think that men know exactly when women want help and exactly what they need help with.
Which would we looking
There's
for?
not one woman on earth, even if you could be rich, you could be a rich woman. Kim Kardashian wants money.
Right.
Because it's not the money, actually, it's the stuff you can do with it. Because 9 times out of 10, if you have it already, you're probably just going to end up spending it back on something that he gets to enjoy too.
Right. Seems pretty simple to me.
Very, very simple. Because it's like if you can't see yourself spending, if there was a storm and you're with someone and all the lights and stuff went off, everything went off, there's nothing else that you can do. You got water, you got a couple candles, but you really can't see each other. If you can't spend 24 hours in a room with that person, they're not meant for you. They're not meant for you. And that has nothing to do with who's 25, who, like the podcast talk, who hit the wall, you can't even see the wall. Like the lights are off. So what wall? You know? Yeah. But you just have to find a person whose personality fits yours first. And I think that people overlook that because they're so used to social media. They want to be seen. And they want to have the trophy. And the girls as well. I'm not taking away that from the women as well. Because women do want to have the guy that has this, that has that. But 9 times out of 10, they use it to nurture the person. It's like it's tied back in.
For sure.
The seed is planted, but if you give me the water, I'm using that same water on my plant and yours.
Wow.
Okay, as far as... As far as the last bit of what we were talking about, when I was talking about black women, do you see that? Do you notice that ever, that that others are on more of a pedestal?
I can only notice from the outside looking in. So it's hard for me to say because I've never been a black woman, obviously. So I can only have an outsider's perspective. I do see a lot of black women being taken advantage of. I see a lot of single black women that are taking care of kids with fathers that aren't, sometimes they're locked up, sometimes they're not helping financially, sometimes they're great fathers. But as far as the struggles, I can only repeat what I've been told by
and I would say I would venture to even go further from there for me, just because I'm not a mother.
Right.
I've never been pregnant before even. So I'm a mother in the sense of mothering other people, but not a mother in the sense of having my own children. So at some point, I don't know the numbers, so I'm just going off the top of my head, but just saying based on people who I know, I don't know a black woman that is over the age of 25 that never helped raise someone.
They never what?
That never helped raise someone.
They never helped raise somebody.
Yeah. There's always a little cousin. There's always a little brother. There's always a neighbor whose child's father isn't there and she has to go work 80 hours a week to try to make life maintain. There's always somebody that has someone who you can help with. So at some point, I realized in my life that we're all, like, when people would tell me Happy Mother's Day, I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not a mother, but thank you. I would still thank them. No, I am. And somebody stopped me and told me that. The lady, she stopped. She was like, yes, you are.
Right.
And she was like, you've done it before. She's like, have you ever, like, had to babysit? Like, have you ever had to, and it's like, not even doing it for a job. Have you ever done it for nothing? Have you ever just wanted to? Have you ever sent the child home when the street lights came on because it didn't look safe? Have you ever told a little girl pull her skirt down because it's a little too high and she don't notice that she riding a bicycle? Have you ever been that to someone?
It's like second nature for you to protect and take care.
Yeah, and to nurture. It's always there.
I've even seen like specific. I would say like some of the black women in my life. I've even seen them take care of like their parents if there's something going on, whether it be financial, whether it be mental, whether it be an injury or something like that as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think
and you know what? Unfortunately, that's a sticky one. But I will say this: we're waking up. You have to treat, even when you're raising kids, you like the father wasn't there. Now all of a sudden he's calling and somebody's calling like, your daddy want to talk to you. No, he don't. Where's ugly self? No, he do not want to talk to me. Like, no. We're no more hospice care kids. I'm not helping you just because you are dying. No.
Right.
Because you weren't there. I would say
it needs to be a real relationship.
Absolutely. And I would say as far as like parenting goes, my biggest thing with it is stop blaming the parent who stayed.
Ooh, stop blaming the parent who stayed. Wow.
Yes. It's like, yeah, they didn't do everything right. She didn't do everything right. We get it. But how much wrong did she really do? Like, come on. She had to do it by herself.
I mean, a lot of mothers are still learning.
Yeah, still learning. They're growing up with you sometimes because 9 times out of 10, your dad was older and he knew better.
Like, yeah.
And then he left you. He left you and he left her.
I think of myself when I was like 24 or something like that. When my mom was raising me, I was like 3 years old when mom was 24.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I just realized, like, man, like it must have been hard as hell to raise a kid at that age.
Her brain isn't fully developed at 24. That's one thing that I would change about the black community completely. Stop pushing them babies out just because they're 18. Stop telling them when you turn 18, you getting out of my house. Like, that is, like, one of the biggest things. No, they don't need to get out of your house when they're 18. If anything, make them pay rent and don't tell them, but save the rent money. And just save it all, and then when they're ready to move, put that as a down payment. Match the down payment to their house with the money that they saved. And tell them that they did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could be 23 when you decide to buy your first house. And now you got a surprise $10,000 that you don't even know about because your parents were charging you rent, but they were putting it off to the side for you. Like, those are the type of things that should be done. Like, teach your children to be financially stable.
It would have generational effects.
Absolutely. And then it'll be less worrying. It'll be more freedom. Like, I'm finding out stuff now. I'm 37. I'm finding out stuff now that I didn't know about before. Like I was watching a video last week, and there's a girl that lives in Egypt, and she pays $98 a month, and it's brand new construction, is the lights, the water, the internet,
So
all
what?
that's included.
Rent $98 a month.
$98. Her brother pays $109.
Wow.
So
Now,
with your language project, what about? I'm trying to like imagine how it would be because I'm guessing in my mind you are creating your own language as a mesh to all the others.
so it's kind of complicated, but here's the thing. Before I go into it, I want to acknowledge that I'm not the pencil pushing professional linguist. I am a barely average linguist. What I do believe I can do is build a brand, build attention, and communicate things clearly. So what I want to do is create a catalyst. So what I do filming Guerrilla Signs is we walk up to people, like I said, we show them words in Arabic and Chinese and all that. And really we're just trying to get people to connect the dots themselves. We're saying, hey, look, we don't have the most basic rudimentary level of communication established on a global scale. If you were over there in China and you got hurt, you couldn't say help, call my wife, help, I broke my leg. We cannot say one singular word in Chinese. But with the language that we're creating, the one that we're adapting is a version of sign. There's hundreds of words that people can understand off the bat, and that's it's a strong foundation to making global communication more accessible. And it goes a bit deeper than that also, because there are written and spoken universal languages. They're just, no one knows about them, and the people that know about them don't know how easy they are to learn about them, and the very small minority of people that know about them and know how easy they are to learn, once they look into the community, it's a really cringe community. They're just a bunch of nerds, which is okay.
Target one of your targets should definitely be children,
I think
because it goes back to the sponge of the brain.
I think that's an angle I want to play. So one of the books I have in my backpack is it's a book on psychology, and it actually goes a lot into that. It's because, I think you're absolutely right. But I definitely can't target as in getting their attention. I don't want to necessarily try and communicate the message to children, but maybe
not the message, but the language.
Yeah.
The language is okay. The message maybe, and they're like, okay, well, he's talking about this means this, and that means that, and that. So maybe not. But the language itself, once you develop the language itself, teach it to the children. Put it in books.
That's what I'm gonna do. But
put it in books. Like you can have it where there's a sentence in there that says Sally goes to the store, but you can have the actual picture of it in Arabic that says Sally goes to the store. Like the actual language there. You can have it written in different ways where they can actually see it and say it.
Yeah. And sign it.
And sign it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Because, when we did this, I don't even know what the number is anymore. We went up to dozens of people. And over and over again, what I thought was interesting is if someone knew sign, I was like, oh, wow, forgive me for asking, but do you know anybody that's deaf? Is that why you know sign? Over and over and over again, they say, I have someone in my family that has autism or Down syndrome or something like that. And they learned it because... I don't even want to make assumptions, but that's something that I noticed. Yeah,
absolutely. It's like most people, they learn it because they have a need to learn it.
I think they need something that's visually intuitive, and I don't want to make the assumption that it's just easier and that's why they chose to learn that language, but I think that's the visually intuitive nature of the sign language.
I don't even think it came from ease. I think it comes from them having a need. Somebody in their family can't hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one thing about sign language, in any language, to my knowledge, in any language, in Arabic, in Mandarin, in English, it's all the same. Like as far as that goes, because sign language isn't just English.
Yeah.
So I believe that everybody. That's one thing. That's one of the ones that is definitely universal. And 9 times out of 10, people end up learning it because, for one, they don't have to pronounce it. All you have to do is move your fingers.
So did you actually know that sign language isn't universal?
It is. To me, I wouldn't.
No, they're all different, especially when it comes to the structure and things like that.
I could be wrong.
Almost.
I definitely.
Most countries have their own. Of course, like there's a lot of countries that are close together, like in South America, they have a very similar one. But yeah, ASL has become largely the standard.
Yeah. But, I can understand that.
But to your point, it makes sense because they're all a lot of them have the same sign. Like if I were to do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You would know that means walk.
Walking,
and,
right.
And that may not be the official sign for every sign language, but it is.
But
for
it
like,
is one that
for
everybody
like
understands.
Yeah.
They pretty much understand it, or they can figure it out.
And there's tons of signs like that.
Right.
But that's why we think it's going to be a good foundation. But the cool part is, I'm not trying to convince people that the sign language we're creating is going to be the solution to the problem. What I'm really trying to do, like the meat of what I'm trying to do, is create a catalyst for someone that is better qualified to step up and do something. Because every time I've gotten in the forums, all I've heard is, yeah, someone smarter than you would have figured it out if there was a way to do it. I'm just saying, I just think we have all the tools we need to solve the problem. And I think
you
really
have to ignore those trolls.
Well,
because ultimately, regardless of whether who's smarter, there's people who aren't as smart, deem themselves as being not as smart, and have still created immaculate things.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't want to dismiss it entirely too, because I think there's a lot of truth in their criticism. There really have been.
It isn't though, because if they're saying that somebody else would have figured it out, that means that you don't believe that you can.
Well, here's my perspective on it too, right? I believe that they're right to an extent. I think that there needs to be the people that have that strong educational background to have a substantial role in it. But I just don't think that's the only role that can be played.
Absolutely.
Because they're saying, hey, look, we have this problem, we have the solution, but I think they're skipping the part that freaking 5 billion people don't even acknowledge there's a problem that exists, and 5 billion people don't know that solutions even exist either.
Right.
So I think that,
and it keeps a lot of people from venturing out, because the example that you gave was right. What if I am in a foreign country and I don't know how to say this, or I don't know how to do this, or I don't know, so those things do matter, especially with people now, especially young people traveling more and
the whole world's different.
More. It's totally different.
And I've it's absurd how many tools we have now.
14-year-old millionaires like that literally were just living in the projects 3 years ago, but they made a hair business, and now, or made press-on nail business, and then it went viral because Cardi B put your nails on, and now and
that was impossible years ago.
And it was impossible, and it's like now you're moving around. You're at a certain age where you're starting to be able to go to different countries and things like that. So those things are interesting to people. It is. It's a better market for it now than it was then. It might not be on everybody's kitchen table immediately, but it definitely is a larger market for it right now.
Well, I imagine I don't know what the time, but let's say way in the future, whether it be 100 years or 1,000 years from now, I believe that humanity is going to find out that it's going to be useful for us all to be able to communicate, at least at a rudimentary level.
Absolutely.
And I believe that when that happens,
and it's going to be off more than body language.
And either it's going to be like a government or whoever's in power, whatever group that is going to decide how we're going to communicate, or we can collectively decide before that happens.
Exactly.
And be part of creating it is what is kind of like my intention of going about it.
Yep. I think that is a wonderful point. That's a wonderful point. Either they're going to do it for us, or we're going to do it ourselves. But you know what? I feel like everybody should have their respective languages, but they should also know a universal one.
It's like the most useful thing that we could collectively be doing as a species, honestly. I don't think that there's a collective thing that we could all work on a global scale that would impact more people with the least amount of resources. I mean, of course, there's important things like solving, humanitarian issues like hunger and access to water, and horrific things about violence and things like that. Mm-hmm. I think those things we absolutely should be giving, attention to. But I imagine if we solve this problem, we would actually be better positioned to solve those as well. If we could all communicate, I believe that solving some of these incredibly difficult problems would be a bit easier. Indirectly, by extension, we are promoting our poop scooping company. We do service Ocean View and surrounding areas. We are called the Poop Pros.